Hi, welcome back. On this episode, I have Sun System, who are wonderful, and they gave me beer. So before you make any assumptions, this is a little bit. I'm feeling loosey-goosey, everybody. They're wonderful. Curt and Cory came on the podcast, and they're absolutely hilarious. So much fun. So just really just. They're fun guys, man. I don't know what else to tell you. They're really intelligent. They're great musicians, and their band Sun System is fucking wonderful. At the beginning of the podcast, we talked a lot about getting to know them and where they're coming from, and their band, how their band formed, and how all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, they came out of nowhere and were really popular, and everyone's talking about them right now, and we talk a lot about that and how and kind of how they got to that point. But dude, by the end of the podcast, we're talking about like jerking off onto audiences as a grand finale and all this kind of crazy shit. Like it's fun. We had a really, really good time. Again, just like a lot of the podcasts I've been doing lately, this is really what I've wanted it to be. So I hope you have a great time. These guys were wonderful. Had so much fun on the podcast. Thank you for the beer to them. And thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode with Sun System. All right, guys. Hi.
Hello.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Hello. Yeah, welcome. You can put your stand closer to you if you want to, if it makes you more comfortable. I don't know how close it is. You can get comfy and move that shit around however you want it. Really, really happy to have you guys here. Usually, like, I have people ask me to do the podcast, but I don't always respond. But like, just I always check out the music first, and sometimes I'm not into it. And I really fucking liked what you guys have going on. I didn't know who you were. Like, what's tell me a little bit about like the history of you guys, because I don't know who you are. And you like, so tell me.
Yeah, you're not the only one. Do you want to take this one, Curt?
Yeah. So basically, I stopped playing music for a couple of years. Wanted to get back into it. Did the whole Craigslist thing of, you know how it is if you've ever done that.
40-year-old men.
Definitely.
Want to play Bon Jovi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just did like a post, hey, shoegaze, dream pop, just make it as specific as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I get fewer 40-year-old metalheads. They still happen. They still trickle through.
Yeah.
So I did one, Cory and
Nathan?
Cory and our original keyboardist responded, and then separately, Nathan, who plays lead guitar in our band, he responded to it. So I played with them separately, and it was similar taste. So I'm like, why don't we bring this together? And Nate knew Lorenzo, who plays drums, from school. So after played together, he told Lorenzo about it. He jumped on. The keyboardist that was originally there was kind of not super into it. It's just how it goes. Yeah. Left on good terms. But Chris, who plays keys, came in place of her, who's friends with Nate, has been in bands before. And that's kind of how it started. Just kind of...
Good keyboardists seem like much harder to find than any other like musician. Like I've looked for keyboardists before, and it's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I can totally, because either they want to play like classical piano, like they want to play Rachmaninoff, or they want to play like the arpeggiator on their synthesizer, and that's like all they want to do. Yeah, no, I totally dig that. And it's hard to get people that are really into like synthesizers, like actual like Moogs and stuff like that. That's a whole rabbit hole.
Do you guys know the Apaches?
Yes.
Yeah, we're familiar.
Yeah. Eric has some amazing synth side projects called Analog Sun. It's just like really old school kind of 80s like slasher movie sci-fi soundtrack. Like,
is that the lead singer or the lead guitarist? I guess there's no vocalist.
Yeah, he's the lead guitar player.
Yeah, I think he talked to me about randomly we were talking about like I'm really into psychedelic music, and him and I think the guy from the James Band had
they're really
thing.
They have a thing called Mr. Spaceship too.
Okay,
super crazy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. So like, I know that you guys are from, each member is from various musical backgrounds.
Yeah.
Just one is like, tell me each about kind of where you guys' backgrounds are.
Okay.
Cory?
Yeah, so I come from kind of the whole, well, I'm a big, obviously, shoegaze fan, but I came from, like, Pavement and Pixies and Sonic Youth, kind of like 90s, late 80s, college indie music, I guess. And, yeah, I kind of always, I'm like the one that pushes us to really dig on, like, 60s music, and huge Phil Spector fan, Beatles.
Me too. That fucking dude, that Phil Spector Christmas album is on so hard in my apartment right now.
Yeah.
Every single Christmas, that fucking thing comes out. I don't have the cool original cover though that says like a Christmas gift to you. Mm-hmm. Mine is just a lame ass Santa Claus, and it just says Phil Spector Christmas album on it.
That's so cool though.
But still, it's every single Christmas, like December 1st, fucking that is out.
Right? Is it also in mono?
Yeah. It's
it has to be because all the stuff's best in mono. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my background. And go ahead, Curtis.
Yeah, I kind of come from. I was a huge Pink Floyd fan when I was younger, and Pink Floyd and Tool when I first started playing. So that kind of like weird, really like lead kind of bass thing, because I play bass in the band, kind of influenced me. And then I went through the cringy screamo phase when I was in high school. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And then I started getting into, post rock and different kinds of, just eclectic, really experimental stuff. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Just it starts with, Pink Floyd and all the weird kind of stuff that they did, and then expanded to more modern versions of that.
Yeah, and then our keyboardist and Nathan are both in they were in a post rock band together.
Yeah,
I think I'm actually the first vocalist that I know at least Chris has ever had.
Yeah,
he's only done instrumental music, and our drummer is like a huge hip hop head. So
that's not a bad thing though. That means they got the groove and shit down. That's awesome.
As a bass player, having a hip hop loving drummer is amazing because you could just fucking groove on that. It's really fun. So I'll just do funky bass lines and stuff like that. It makes it really fun, and it the dynamics with having the ethereal post rock and shoegaze stuff and the 60s psych stuff with a groovy rhythm section really kind of, I don't know, makes it interesting, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We don't do a lot of root notes and straight eighth
That's
notes.
important.
Yeah.
It's so funny whenever I think about stuff like that. I remember talking to a band a long time ago, and their bassist was trying to psych themselves up to us, and they were like, "Yeah, we don't play a lot of root notes and stuff. We're doing these crazy Ionian scales," and I was like, "Really? That's it would be impressive if he wasn't talking to another musician."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You hear a big word like Ionian, and you're like, "Oh shit, these guys
great.
are for
he knows
real."
his modes. That's great.
Sick.
You get an A+.
So were any of you guys in bands previously? I mean, like local bands.
I'm actually from Columbus, Ohio. So.
Oh shit! I'm from Dayton.
Oh, right on, dude.
I'm from like Middletown, outside of Dayton, Kettering area.
Yeah. So when did you migrate west? I guess.
2008 when General Motors crashed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not crashed, but when they fucking shipped everything off, and my dad and my grandmother, my whole family worked for GM.
Okay.
So when the plant in Moraine went down, we knew the economy would bounce back the fastest here, and we had some small modicum of family out here. So I came out here, and I go back and visit every once in a while, but I'm so spoiled by how much there is to do in Arizona and Phoenix especially, that every time I'm there, I'm like, fuck, everyone drives slow, and there's nothing to do. There's no cool shops. There's no cool stuff. It's cool for 2 days, and then I get really bored.
Yeah, I'm about to be a real big hater. No, I'm just kidding. No, I liked when we played. I was in a band. I was in 2 bands in Columbus. One was called Alert New London. We played for 5 years and did some regional touring. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. And then I was in a band called Dead Forever, which was just straight up Pavement kind of ripoffs. But we'd play the Oregon District there when we go to Dayton and stuff like that. But I always felt when I went to Dayton, and not that Columbus is any type of progressive city, but it always felt like Dayton was about 2 years behind.
Maybe instead of, you're right. I think that's the only area that I know. So I always kind of bag it like that. And then I forget oh no, Dayton is a really tiny ass, armpit piece of Ohio. I didn't spend much time in Cleveland or Columbus or anything like that. When I was playing, I don't when were you playing your most out there?
2011 to about 2014 or so.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I was in a band in 2008, 2009. So we were playing like there's like just weird places like the attic.
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
I know.
like, remember that shit like that? Yeah.
Super Christian place. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
Yeah.
It was really like unnerving.
Yeah.
But that was back when the scene for metal music, at least, was like out of nowhere in the late 2000s. Christianity had this huge pull.
Yeah, like
you know,
Norma Jean, Under Oath, and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And we were like, we played with a bunch of bands like that all the time. I don't know. It's interesting.
No. Yeah, totally. I remember being at Warped Tour back when I had like fucking red hair and checkered bands, like seeing Under Oath like talking about Jesus and stuff, and then you've got NoFX like saying "fuck those guys." And I was like, that's more punk rock to me than talking about Jesus at a punk summer camp.
Absolutely. Yeah. You don't want to have a Bible camp at Warped Tour.
I don't want that thumped in my face. But anyway.
You don't say grace before you watch Under Oath.
Right. Let's bow our heads.
What about you?
I did I lived here from. This is actually where I started playing guitar in Phoenix, and then I moved to California.
Don't say Phoenix. Where'd you come from?
Well, I was
I
born in California.
See, okay,
and
so
I lived in Michigan.
The reason I'm giving him shit is I when I came here, I was a teacher at the high school that he used to go to, ironically.
Yeah.
And I was the yearbook teacher, and I actually saw this asshole's freshman, like, photograph, and he says he likes Tool. Well, that's evident by the picture. You look like you're like
I was both a Tool and wearing a Tool
right,
shirt.
right. You were probably on the short list for like who can repeat Columbine. Like that was you.
No, dude.
Well, the picture
totally.
The
Trench
picture
coat mafia,
wasn't.
What
but
up?
If I was rocking a trench coat in that picture, you would be much more afraid of me.
That's
just
true.
Like, so
That's
what's
true.
just like hair in your face, looking dour and upset, or what?
It wasn't even that. It was just like, I don't really care. I'm showing up for picture day. Type of deal.
It was Glendale.
I'm too cool
though,
for
too.
picture day.
It was Glendale too.
Yeah,
funny
it was
as
a Glendale. I did like I said, the cringy screamo stuff. Like when I was starting out high school, and then I moved to California for my senior year of high school and spent a few years there. And got really into post rock, and like bands like Minus the Bear, and around then is when In Rainbows came out from Radiohead, and just like, kind of a mind blowing album, and got more into that. So I played in post rock bands, and we just played around. It was in Central Coast, like San Luis Obispo. It's in between San Francisco and LA, like right smack in between, and just like going around there and playing there. Nothing too big. And then I stopped playing for a little bit when I came out here. I rode a motorcycle. You couldn't really travel around, and I was broke.
Yeah.
So you can't really like buy music instruments. And then I started back up again, and now I'm with these guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So, let's see.
We got him stumped already.
No.
Are we done now? Should we leave?
Yeah, no.
Let's wrap it up.
Tell me about the new release that you guys have coming up. But obviously I'm going to ask a lot of questions about it. But the first thing that I have is, where did you go to record it? Or how did you record it?
Okay, that's easy. So we did all the drums at Perfect Timing, and then we did all the other tracking ourselves. Our keyboardist kind of does all the recording. I think the only thing that's interesting about how we did it is I recorded all of the vocals in my bathtub. That's like the only thing I can say that's somewhat intriguing.
Fully nude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important.
You gotta
I've recorded bathroom vocals before. It's not a bad spot.
Yeah, I like the tile reverb. And then we sent all of our tracks to
Triangle.
Ingle Studios, right?
Yeah, down in Tucson. Apparently, Chris, our keyboardist, knows him. Or, acquaintances with him, whatever.
It's really weird. Like, I've never met the guy, and I think we're doing, like, a single a month release. So we'll be, like, emailing stuff back and forth, and I have never met this guy, and he's been, like, super awesome. I can't, like, it's
like a lake house with Sandra Bullock and Keanu Reeves type situation.
Exactly. We leave stuff in a mailbox.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Several years later, we get it back.
I hate that about recording.
But basically, we sent it out to a few people. A couple of people. A dude that plays in Chitora.
Which one? I played with those guys before. The singer guy.
Yeah, his name's escaping me right now.
Me too. Sorry, homeboy.
And then a dude who does sound at Rips, who's super chill. I love that guy. And then we sent it out to Ty, and the
was there a fourth person?
I don't.
If there
think,
was, I feel bad, but
I think it's just those
regardless.
3. But Ty's the one who came back, and we were like, he changed everything. Where it's like, oh shit, like this sounds awesome. And we were the most hands off with him too. We were just like,
that
do
was
your
intentional,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, because my whole thing was like, if we're getting a mix, like it's just gonna be. We have so much shit going on our music.
Literally, we like Gigi Allen. We throw shit at.
Yeah, literally.
You have to do something.
If it was up
So
to
much
if it was up to
competition.
me.
Yeah.
But we have so much stuff going on that you know how it is being in a band. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to
There's
be
a
the
lot of
loudest.
ego involved.
Exactly. So personally, I wanted my stuff just sent out and have somebody just do it without our input and have an outside perspective of what should be standing out. He did that, sounded awesome, and it's like he's charging way too little. I hope he doesn't listen to
We're
this.
not gonna tell people our prices.
Yeah, we're not gonna tell people our prices.
That's-
He's charging way too little for how good it sounds.
Absolutely.
That's the way to do it, in my opinion, is to hands off as much as possible. Like when we did our first album, it was all hands on. It was all like ego, not in a competitive way, but in just like no, this needs to sound perfect. It needs to sound the way that I sound. And you put your head so far up your ass that you completely lose sight of what the song actually sounds like.
Probably because your head's up your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
everything's muffled. So, so the release that we just put out is like. Is my favorite thing that we've ever done and I think a lot of the reason for that is like A, we actually recorded with somebody and not in our fucking house, like trying to figure it out, and B, we completely hands off. Like here, you go ahead, just you do it, and then we'll give input. Like we just like came in one day and we're like, all right, well we should like maybe raise this and maybe change that a little bit, but for the most part, just like go crazy, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. That's basically where we're at. Like little. Like, hey, dude, do you mind turning this up, this down, sort of things? But for the most part, and he like nailed it every single time we asked him to do something. He just killed it.
Yeah, I think that it made us conscious, though. Excuse me, for the next release, that we need to like create more space, because I do not envy him having to mix our music because there's like a ridiculous amount of guitar tracks and a lot of stuff competes in terms of frequency bands.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah, so. We learned maybe this next time.
We all need to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot of, being in a shoegaze band and stuff, we just have these, like, absurd boards, pedal boards and stuff, and, just a ton of reverb, just like, yeah, let's slap on, like,
and
4
all
or
the
5
all the
waves
all the
on that.
pretense and
Dude,
you know,
reverb is the biggest pain in the ass of anything I've ever had to deal with. Like,
Oh, yeah, for
people talk
sure.
about pedal boards, and yeah, pedal boards definitely are a pain in the ass, but there's something about reverb that you have to get so right, and it's such a fucking like succinct, perfect thing that it can so easily just wash everything out, and you're completely screwed.
Yeah, I think that people maybe that do ethereal music, I think that the go-to thing is to like, okay, we'll slather it with reverb, but actually it's just multiple delays you stack. That's more controllable.
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
exactly what you're saying.
Absolutely, like, as opposed to just like MacBook reverb up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hull,
which may or may
all
not,
the way.
which may or may not be
Cathedral.
what we did on our first album.
Yeah.
That's like,
So
just using the Sigaros preset on the
Yeah,
TC Hall of Fame. Let's just jack that decay all the way up.
Yeah.
Shit.
I know.
Do
I
you guys
ended
listen
up
to a lot of stuff like that? I feel like
Yeah.
I get a definite like post rock vibe from you guys.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Guitar
Guitar tone, at least.
Yeah. Well, the irony is I feel like I give them shit all the time because I'm like, I used to study that shit.
Oh, really?
You know,
Okay.
like that would just be in the background. And I think that they take that as offense when I say that. But
I can't listen to. I have to. I was talking to Celebration Guns about this. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be on in the background for me to like get into.
yeah, it's not. It's
It's a certain mood thing,
Yeah.
for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh yeah, it's Saturday night, going out to party. Let me put on "This Will Destroy You" and listen to 60 beats per minute.
Okay,
like,
but for real, Young Mountain is one of the fucking greatest like post rock EPs of all time.
oh, I completely agree.
it's
It
so
is
good.
incredible. I have it in the. I don't know if you have the LP.
I don't.
It's like the see-through green. It looks like Jolly Rancher, like
That's
green
awesome.
apple green. It's so fucking rad, and it sounds so cool. And if you've never seen them live,
I have not.
oh my god, it is so fucking good. I saw them when they were at Rebel like a month or two ago.
okay.
They
and,
played at Rebel.
yeah,
Aren't
they
they
played
way
at-
bigger than that?
They
I feel
usually
like-
play at
well-
but they sell out Rebel.
Yeah.
They played at
Well, yeah.
Crescent for Viva Phoenix
Yeah.
a couple years ago, and it was like impossible to get in.
But that was
But-
for Viva Phoenix.
Yeah,
but
for
let's
sure.
be honest though, like in Phoenix in general, like I remember seeing War on Drugs before they're a week before they're about to headline Saturday night at Coachella,
Okay.
and it was a half-filled room. I think is the press room a thing?
Yeah.
Brad Preston's thing.
Yeah. So like,
And
was
that's
that
a
like
bigger
Maybe
venue.
because everybody bought
that's not
fucking
a
tickets
huge-
for Coachella.
It's not a huge venue, but
venue.
it's a bigger venue.
It
It's
is.
not
Yeah.
it's not marquee, but it's sizable.
What was that like 700 people room?
Press rooms, yeah, it's like 5 to 1,000.
like
It's
more
some-
than
it's
the
somewhere in
Crescent,
between there.
less than fucking Livewire. Like
Yeah,
somewhere in
yeah,
the middle.
yeah.
Yeah. But I felt like I was just kind of, I don't know, like Ride when they played here, they played Crescent, and like I feel like if it was another city, they would play at a bigger. I'm just saying, like
Well, yeah,
I think
mean,
that there's definitely interest here,
That's
but
true.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's
people who go see bands in Phoenix are kind of we're kind of shitty crowds. Like,
Can
and
be.
that's what I've heard
well, I
from a
don't
lot
know,
of
man.
like.
I saw Kendrick, and it was
You saw
I mean,
That's different
Yeah.
though. That's different.
That was
That's
amazing.
Kendrick, and he played at like the Glendale Arena or whatever
yeah,
it's called now.
yeah. But like, what about when we saw who was that? I feel like when we saw that wasn't with you. Never mind. I was gonna say at Radio Department. I thought that was a pretty good crowd for that music.
I've run into some shit crowds with like people who've like there's certain bands that I go out to see who if I go to a show, I'm doing one of two things. Either I'm gonna spend a little bit more money and like drink like upstairs or something like that, like on like a mezzanine, like what Van Buren has,
yeah, that's a great venue. I love the place.
or I'm gonna be right up front on the barricade, get there 5 hours early. Like there's not really much of an in between for me.
Yeah.
Like I camp out. Like I camp out for Frank Turner and I camped out for Front Bottoms and I camp out for a bunch of shit. But like fuck me, that really gives you a chance to hang out with the crowd beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And like Front Bottoms had the fucking shittiest fans I've ever like. They're just whiny white girls. Like,
Yeah.
It was like like there was this one girl who was outside. Like, can you believe she had to get a job just to go to college? And I was like, oh my fuck! Like all day, I heard people just like,
That's terrible, man.
I mean,
Just like privileged white.
yeah, it was really, really bad. But even like Frank Turner, who I love more than anything, some of his fans are like, pains in the ass, man. It sucks sometimes.
I think
Yeah.
like probably the only like one of the crowds that was just like this is a good crowd. I saw the Sound of Animals fighting with Appleseed Cast and everybody who loves like Circus Survive or whatever, and Sound of Animals Fighting's only gone on 2 tours ever, so that was a huge crowd at the Marquee, and they were with Appleseed Cast, who I love. That was a really good crowd, but you see a lot of like. I've just heard that we have a reputation of kind of standing there at Phoenix,
Yeah.
and I do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Right.
say I don't do
Yeah.
that, but I hear that that's kind of the reputation, and it's like you have a lot of interest, but there's, I don't know.
I
Not a lot
try
of
to
excitement.
I try to go crazy. The only time I didn't really go crazy for a show, the first time I was at the Van Buren, I saw Frank Turner opening for Jason Isbell. I'm like a really big folk guy. Like I like folk and country a lot.
You like to folk shit up.
Yeah, I do. Like I'm into fucking everything, but that's kind of one of my main digs. And I was there and like I couldn't get Stoked at all because that was the first month Van Buren was open and the sound was not good. Like I could
Really?
I could look over to the person next to me and talk to them without yelling, and I was on the barricade.
Huh.
Like it was really weird.
I saw Death Cab. I think that was in their first month
Was that
or
good?
2. Yeah, but it was like that realization that I'm getting old. You know, like 'cause
Why?
when I saw Pavement, for instance, it was like you get the mixture of like the parents that had seen them since 2000. 17 years ago, had listened to was it Something About Planes? Is that the first record?
Oh yeah, for Death Cab?
Yeah.
Something about airplanes. There was the one before that.
No, you can play these songs with the chords is like the B-side album.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Anyway, but yeah, you saw like just like the range of like 14-year-old kids. They're probably, I mean, they're like a band that will kind of.
They're easy to listen to.
Yeah.
Like for like cross.
I love Death Cab, man.
Absolutely,
they're amazing.
absolutely.
I got into them with Narrow Stairs. I was one of the I
You
was
got
like,
in late.
I was like in 2000. When did that album come out? Like 2006, 2007.
I think Narrow Stairs. Yeah,
2007.
2007. So I would have
Yeah.
been in 7th grade. So that was when.
Fuck, I am old. As shit.
Right.
Like that's when fucking I Will Possess Your Heart was the single, and
Dude,
that video was on Fuse all the time, and that's how I got into them.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what you're gonna say. I was in college when that.
I love that.
Yeah, I was. That was my senior
Sorry.
year of high school.
I did that to Celebration Guns.
No, it's
That's
fine.
kinda
It's fine.
funny.
And I think they're older than us.
Yeah, they're older
Yeah,
than us.
no,
I'm
so-
27.
Yeah, no, they're fucking
30,
old. You
so-
guys are still super young.
Yeah, I can't wait
Fuck
because
those old guys.
like Justin's gonna totally listen to this.
Yeah.
I told him we were
I
doing
love
this
Justin.
tonight. Yeah, he's a good dude. Great guy.
He's a real sweetie.
Yeah.
Incredibly sexy.
Yeah.
Incredibly
Just
sexy.
'cause I know he's gonna
and he
listen
listens to every. It was so weird because he's listened to every one of these episodes. So I would like tell a story, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you said that on like episode 8 or whatever." And I'm like, "Fuck
Wow.
me, shit!" Like just like taking my sails right out from under me. But so speaking of Justin, how did you guys get? Okay, two-part question. A, how did you get hooked up with Lumberjerk? And B, what do they do?
What do they do?
What do they do for you?
What do they do
Well,
for us?
I will know. I actually saw Celebration Guns before I really knew them. I saw them with This Town Needs Guns. I'm a huge like math rock fan.
Okay.
I love that stuff, and so I saw them with This Town Needs Guns. Sorry, at Pub Rock in Scottsdale. I was like, these guys are fucking rad. Like, these guys are local. And then I saw them open up for Explosions in the Sky at Marquee, which both they played great, and then Explosions was just fucking. It's an experience to go see them.
Yeah.
So when we kind of formed, I'm like, these are the dudes. You know, it's like Celebration Guns, Holy Fawn. You know, like the really good local bands. These are the dudes. And we ended up playing with them. Oh, it was a timeout show.
They asked us to play. I think
We're
with
really
Luau.
good. We're good friends with the dudes in Luau. We share a practice space with
Oh,
them.
okay, I know that name.
And so Luau asked us to be on this show, this timeout show, and Celebrations Guns was on. So we were like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this!"
Dude,
love them.
Timeout is fucking rough.
Yeah, the DIY. It's like DIY as fuck.
I mean, like, no, Trunk Space is DIY as fuck. Like, Timeout is just like, whew, all right.
Oh, because there's no like floor. It's like
Yeah.
you're in a bar and there just happens to be a stage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the irony was, I felt like we actually got like it was one of the rare times I could definitely tell that the crowd was on our side. Which
No,
is like,
it was actually
so I mean, but
a
it
way
could
better
have been just like a
experience.
rare experience. I don't know.
No, it was actually way better than like because you go in there, you're like fuck.
Yeah.
But no, when
Yeah.
you play, like the sound was actually decent
Was it?
for the setup.
Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me.
Yeah, dude, it could
Rough
be hit or
night.
miss. Like
Yeah.
it could be hit or miss for sure. We played on a weekend, so it was a little more
Yeah.
like lively.
Yeah, we got super lucky. We played on a Friday night, and there was like it was packed, but it still felt kind of empty at the same time because there was only like two like drunk middle-aged women dancing.
It's a long room though too.
Yeah, it is.
Is it like when you play a fuck out? It's like there's like a bunch of dudes
Oh,
just eating
man.
soup
Well, I mean,
right in
like-
front of me.
Public, yeah. I don't want to like take
These
away
are-
their business, but no one should play there.
Yeah, no one
should.
Like the
I have-
owner's amazing
I have-
and he pays well and
Yes, he
everything,
does.
but we got told to turn down so many
Fuck
times.
me too. Every single time.
Yeah.
Like we played there once and we refused to ever go back because they were in between songs coming up to us telling us to turn down, and that was that was 2 years ago. It was when we first got started. We played there, and then fucking we got an offer by a band that we're friends with to play there, and we're like, look, we love you guys. You support us. Yes, we'll play your EP release shows. The band they used to be called Combust, and they're called Hostage for Humans. I was like, yeah, we'll absolutely. Fucking immediately, same exact shit happened, and there's like, the place was popping. It was a Friday night, and it was packed, and we got paid good money, but there was no one fucking watching us. They were all just getting drunk, like in the back, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like, oh god, that's
No, I think it's like the place you bust your first nut. Like it's
Yeah.
like getting
We
a
played our
hooker
first
for
show
your-
there.
Yeah.
Oh, you played your first show there?
Yeah.
That's lucky.
We played our first show there.
So
It's all
sorry.
good. It's all good.
We played our first show there. It was a 12 o'clock spot, right? And we played after a ska band who played for like an absurd amount.
Oh my
It was like
God.
fucking Crossroads. Like they played for 2 hours.
No, it was. Yeah, that's not even an exaggeration.
No, they literally played for 2 hours.
And I couldn't tell the difference between songs, if I'm honest.
No,
It's just
no,
like
no. Yeah, yeah, mhm.
next song.
Yeah, dude. Fuck how. I mean, it's cool. Like their food is really good.
Yeah, it's like it's whatever, it's whatever. But I mean, we got lucky with our second show was the Luau had like a a single or something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
a single
Their
release.
cassette single release, and we played with them and Real Fits.
Did you play
who's
Real
the Panic,
Fits? That's
Panic
a
Baby now.
Oh, is that what Panic
Yeah,
Baby
they're called
is?
Panic Baby now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's so many Fits. There's like Ricky Fits and there's like
There is a
Fits in the
actually
Tantrum.
there's
yeah,
a bunch.
actually-
There's a bunch of Fits.
Isn't there like a band called the Fits in England that are like
Probably.
really big?
Yeah, there's a
sounds
Fit.
British.
I didn't understand like why that's so popular, but there's a bunch of Fits.
Everyone's like crazy, evidently.
It's-
But you were
it's
asking
the Lil
before.
of indie pop.
Yeah. You were asking before though. Excuse me, about Celebration Guns and Lumberjack.
Yes.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Sorry,
we got
yeah,
off on
we got
tangents. Go
derailed
ahead.
on that.
Justin's like, God, fuck, will you talk about me, please?
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
yeah. Put me back in the mix. So once we touched on that Fakao, like it seemed like it touched a nerve with you. I could tell.
Yeah, it did. Sorry.
For
yeah.
people that are listening, like he got like 6 feet back and was still screaming in the mic.
Yeah,
It was
sorry.
intense. It was like Dennis Rodman or
Fuck
fucking-
Out and Rhythm Room are the two venues that I'm always like, no, stay away.
Yeah. No, I dig it, man. But kind of if we're gonna fast forward from you're going from like birth to now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me Benjamin Button. this.
Why don't
Let's
you
go backwards.
Jesus that and skip 12 through 30
Yeah.
and just start it there?
Okay, yeah. So what happened was we played a couple shows with them, and they were repping us, which was really cool because we're new and like, well, I guess 2.5 if you count half of yourself as a transplant. We're like transplants, so we don't have.
What the fuck is going
I'm just saying, like, our drummer's from Connecticut,
on? Okay.
and I'm from Ohio.
Got it.
And he's from California / Michigan /
Glendale.
here.
I'm
but-
all
yeah.
over the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like what I'm saying is we don't have that kind of like a lot of times when bands are successful, people have seen them grow up together or like be in other groups
Yeah.
and you can kind of cross pollinate. We didn't have that, so it was nice to have someone like Justin and Celebration Guns as a whole to kind of put our name out there because they're fairly established. And,
Yeah, absolutely.
And
They've been around for 60, 70 years, I'm assuming by their age.
yeah.
Fucking old man.
Yeah. So we were going to put out our EP only digitally, and we were on their first compilation. And actually, we were playing a show with he came because we were playing with Citrus Clouds, who were also on that. And who's the other
Also
band?
super established too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're
Clouds are
awesome.
shit.
Yeah, we're playing with them tomorrow night actually at our EP.
I say
release.
dudes, but it's one dude, 2 women.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wanted to play with them, and we've like tried to hook it up, but if it's never worked for whatever reason, we've just never gotten a chance to play with them.
Right on.
They've asked us, we've asked them, and it's just one of those things where it's just like,
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. No, I dig that.
I'm
yeah.
excited to see them. I'm planning on going to the show tomorrow night, so I'm
Oh,
really,
cool,
I
man.
really, really hope to see.
We'll
to
get
go
you on
see
the
them.
list, man. We'll get you on the list.
Oh yeah.
I'll make my fiance pay.
Yeah, right. I see your paychecks.
Yeah. But he came to that show and we were talking, and I kind of wanted him because we were gonna do press for it, and I always feel like it helps if you have some imprint on it.
Mm-hmm.
So we did like the whole game where we sent emails out from our drummer's fiance's name who does PR.
There you go.
Yeah, even
Man,
though
now you're showing them how the sausage is made.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all falling apart.
So then we also got. I was actually gonna ask him that night, and he just went ahead and asked, like, would you want us to put out your record? And kind of how it works right now is like we have 100 physical copies, and kind of he paid over half of that cost. So it's kind of because it's his first release, and I feel like
Essentially, he's our pimp.
yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. That's how it goes. But yeah, we did a lot of. Our whole thing is we're trying to connect. I had this idea of doing like a cooperative kind of like one of the problems, and I'm sure you understand this, especially coming from a city where there wasn't as much talent as I think there is in Phoenix, but the bars are closer together and you can like get walk-in traffic, and we have a locally owned independent radio station that's very local first. So there was a lot more promotion of local talent.
In
And,
Ohio, you mean?
Yeah, in Ohio. So what I'm saying is we're trying to connect the dots for pre-existing kind of infrastructure in the city to try, kind of like what you're doing with this podcast, is like expose people to greater audiences and that whole like cross promotion that can occur. And realizing too that every scene that's ever happened, CBGB's, the Cavern Club, whatever you want to say.
Whiskey, all that.
Whiskey, yeah. It's always happened with the bands supporting other bands first, and then people come. and that's kind of the road we're trying to figure out how we can get other bands to kind of support one another and come to a lot of the local shows, and we had to admit to ourselves that we were guilty of not doing that. So
you got to create a scene.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of the thing. I remember being here in high school, and you had like the clubhouse in Tempe. You didn't.
I remember when it got shut down.
Oh yeah, but so I went to high school here, and we'd go to the clubhouse, and you see bands like The Main, who are bigger now, and Lydia, Blessafall, like those sort of bands, and it was more of a scene. I know it's kind of like, that screamo thing, but it was more of a scene, honestly. Like kids went out to shows and stuff like that. And the clubhouse was cool because it was all ages. They just gated off like Rebel does.
I hate that. I hate the kiddie gate so much.
It's annoying.
My girlfriend just turned 21.
Yeah,
like I'm 24, and I just turned 24. She just turned 21, and we started dating when I was 21 and she was 19ish, maybe 22, 20, something like that. And fucking goddamn, like for years, every single 21 and up show, either she couldn't come to or she was in the fucking kiddie pool.
It was like the Berlin Wall. You guys are just like reaching across.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm just a gentleman, so I just like hang out in the kiddie section and not drink. And it's the worst.
I have heard though that like people go to like Ty Segall, fucking shows, and those are like, that's the place to be because like the high school kids go crazy, and then everyone else is in the back like sipping their beers.
But we embrace the all ages scene really, really hard because most of the people who are into us and definitely were into us in the beginning were teenagers. We had a lot of like 15 to 18-year-old girls at the shows.
Yeah.
And it was just like whenever we would put out like a release show or something like that at 51 West or Trunk Space or House or something, and we'd fucking just pack it and it'd be wild and insane. And then we'd go and play Rebel to 21 and up show, and there'd be fucking crickets.
Right.
So we kind of like for a long time just like, we'll play it if we're asked, but like don't push it real hard because we know not a whole lot of people are going to get there. It's starting to change a little bit because we're getting older and other people are getting older and whatever. But like, God, man, there was like that first year was like fucking.
It's rough. Like, and I've heard you on a couple of shows. It's like those rough nights at the Rogue where it's literally like we've played there on like a Monday night with a touring band because for whatever reason every single touring band goes through the Rogue.
So easy.
And because it's easy. And Mandy's awesome.
Mandy's the shit.
Yeah. He's incredible. And
I'm not sure how his business model works, but
I don't either.
I
wonder the same
right. How is this place still around?
Yeah, but no,
awesome.
he's like
wonderful.
No, absolutely. He's like the patriarch or something. Like he's very much like the patron.
He's trying to make he loves local music and it's great. We played a Monday. The last time we played there, it was a Monday night with this touring band. Literally, it was just
the other band didn't show up.
Yeah, one of the bands didn't show up. So
two of the bands didn't show up.
Two of the bands didn't show up. There's two bands. It was us. It felt like a practice. It was us and then the other band at the bar.
And they're from Nashville, so they didn't obviously bring anyone.
Yeah.
So like the highlight of that night though is they played Can. They did a Can cover. They played Vitamin C, which was really rad, but that was
graduation song by Vitamin C.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the thing though. Like you kind of, it's rough. This year is our year of like we'll play a show every like couple months, and we'll do like a headliner every like 3 or 4, and just kind of like take it easy a little bit. Maybe we'll do a trip or something like that. But as far as like shows, like kind of scale it back, make them less and bigger.
Yeah, for sure, and that's what we're doing too. And I know. You talk to the Sink or Swim, right? And
they're
doing that same
old
thing.
friends of ours.
You're kind of doing they're kind of doing the same thing, and you kind of realize that after you play for a little bit, it's like, okay, we need to not play with, because that's one thing that happens a lot. You see, like people don't give a shit about the bill, and you're just getting like bands that don't make sense. And if you do that, people come and nobody's gonna like everything.
They leave after their friend's band plays too.
Exactly. So it just gets emptied out or whatever. And if you have a strong bill, it's gonna be a lot better. That's why we really like the bill we're playing with tomorrow night. They're friends of ours.
That's so good.
And they have similar fans. So people aren't just going to dip out after their like reggae band plays and then we're on next.
That's what we do. We're very conscious about like the bill being succinct and kind of making sense. But the thing is, I always tell young bands or like bands who are getting started, I always tell them like play your fucking ass off for your first like year. Just like kill it. Meet as many people as humanly possible. Eat fucking dicks every once in a while because it sucks, and you play Tuesday at the Rogue, and just really, really like really work it and make all your connections. And then after that, once you grow an audience, then you can start kind of like slowing down, and because you don't want to abuse your fan base by constantly playing, and then kind of like pull it off. But at first, just like burn yourself out of the music you have, and then like come up with new stuff and whatever. And it puts you to the test, too, because what happens if you, like, get popular and then you have to go on a tour and everyone fucking hates each other and doesn't make it through it because they have to, you know what I mean? They have to deal with it for the first time. Like, just, I always say, like, work it and then kind of wean.
I can totally dig that. Yeah, I think that, like, when you first start out, I think stand-up comedians are kind of the same. They're very open about saying that you pretty much tell your friends, and your friends are the ones that come to their shows. And then after like 4 or 5, like, fuck, I gotta go to this goddamn show. Like, it's the obligation. And that we never wanted to do that.
You feel like you're selling like a pyramid scheme, like to your friends sometimes. Like
coworkers is the worst.
I'm selling protein shakes. Come on out.
It's like, bro, I already bought like 4 protein shakes. I'm not gonna
but you can go to the next level. It's like Scientology.
That's why it's important to be good, because then you're the dude at the office who not only did you like bring people to come to, you're the dude at the office whose band fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like you quickly become Andy from Parks and Rec, like really fast, and everyone's just like, oh man. So it's important to be good. I feel like that's the other piece of advice I tell you like young bands that I meet. Like, be good.
Yeah, don't like don't half-ass some songs just to play out. Like, take your time, and we played for what, like a year before we played out.
Yeah, but I would also say and something we should have been more conscious of. And I think this is something just coming as old men, we have maturity.
I'm fucking married.
I'm about to get married. No, I think that a lot of times too, like people don't really understand how like frequencies work, and you know. You're a 3-piece, correct? Mm-hmm. So so you guys, like, your guitar can take up this huge amount of space, and as the bass player, you have to fill in what's left, what would be a typical like a rhythm guitar, and you got your kick to like fill in the other a bit. But like, I feel like a lot of times bands play out before they understand their place sonically. Like, we have a keyboard player and 2 guitars, and a bass player. And that stuff coincides sometimes in the same frequency band. So then it just sounds like mush, or
I hate that.
Someone turns their like volume way up because I can't hear myself, because like you're competing and there's like, you know, cancellation going on.
So what do you, we've played as a 4-piece twice for like small couple month periods in the beginning. And then eventually we're just like, fuck this. We just do a 3-piece. Yeah. But what do you do to keep that from happening? Is it about like the guitar tones and making them different from each other, or like how do you compete?
I think that's a lot of it. I think that you can't have like in our band, like with a 3-piece, like Citrus Clouds for instance, their drummer has like a 26-inch kick drum.
She has a big ass kick.
Yeah.
It's like it's a fucking monster.
It looks like a marching band.
I was about to say it's a marching drum.
Yeah. But we can't do that with having so many people, because you need that tighter bass. So I'm saying like you kind of have to analyze what you have, and then like the guitars need to sit in the mid range, but if you have a lead guitar player, he needs to be maybe a little bit brighter than the rhythm guitar player, and the bass needs to not be like in that like you kind of have to establish your own territory.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I specifically got I play a Gibson SG bass, and it's just fucking boom. That's what it's known for. It's like it does the one thing, but it doesn't really go. It's just fucking bass. And that's the reason why I did that instead of playing a jazz bass that I had forever, because it just fits in our specific mix.
Yeah.
Apart from being comfortable to play, but it fits in like our specific mix so well, because I can operate the low end where these guys can do the mid and treble. I don't know if you ever watch Rig Rundowns.
Oh, I love Rig Rundown.
Yeah, so the Fall of Troy. They did the Fall of Troy, and Thomas Eric and their bassist did it perfectly. They're like, I only use these specific settings because this is where I fit. Like, they explain it so well.
That is so cool.
And I watched that. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking right. Like, that's where I want to stick. So when I'm picking like pedal settings and like how I do my tone on my bass and everything like that, it's to fit in that specific space, or I'm gonna get lost in the mix and you're not gonna hear me.
Yeah, I actually use a 12-string electric guitar in this band.
Wow. Okay.
which is the first time I've done that.
How can we make this more complicated?
yeah. No, but it's interesting because it's like a Strat, so it has a lot of like chime, but it's not as chimey as like
MIDI.
Yeah, it's MIDI. But then also like our other guitar player uses a very bright jazz master through a super reverb, so he's a lot more of that treble, and I'm kind of like the low mids. I don't know. It's just like, I guess to your question, to not get super nerded out, but it's more about it's more about knowing kind of your sonic space and operating in that zone. And it's like
everybody has a role.
Everyone has a role. Yeah,
That's cool.
we're like the Golden State players, right?
I like that.
Yeah. Well, Golden State's all shooters.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah. For example.
No, that's definitely that's really cool. I like being a 3-piece because it means that it gives me more room, and I do a lot of embellishing, and I'm all over the place. So I like.
No, it's gonna be very freeing as a bass player.
It is because that's the thing. Like, I remember playing with a fourth member and having to really kind of work out the sound, and just suddenly I was like, I thought for some reason I had this naive notion that it would give me more ability to do whatever I wanted because someone else is playing more of the rhythm parts than me. But I've quickly found out, like, dude, it's so much easier to just have like the one guitar player.
Oh yeah, because they're a rhythm section.
Yeah, exactly. And and Josh plays his leads like so fucking like loud and with such like not so loud that it's shitty, but like he does it, so he manages to do it live well enough to where you don't feel like there's a whole lot missing, so long as I'm like
fills
keeping
the
it.
space.
Exactly, it fills the space.
Like, well, think about the bass player from the Muse. They're a 3-piece.
Yeah.
And he kills it. Everybody loves that guy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And he uses a ton of effects and kind of plays almost like a lead position.
He does, for sure.
Where, especially now, they're more of like that synth poppy kind of sound.
Yeah, but even back to Origins of Symmetry, think about songs like Plug In Baby and Hyper music. It's all fucking bass drives both those songs completely.
Yeah, he drives the song because the guitar player obviously sings and everything too, and he's just like this huge board. And the same for like, I'm gonna bring it back to Tool. Justin Chancellor's the lead bass player. I haven't listened to Tool in years, but that I love.
No one has, because they haven't released an album in like forever.
Yeah, but they have like a melodic bass player who kind of plays lead basically.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that's where I like to play melodic bass. And that's why I like to have a big board, and that's why
Tool's one of those bands I always aspired to get into, and it just never clicked with me.
No, they're kind of like, because I don't really love Maynard, and
I love Maynard too.
It's like,
I feel like I like
it's
their
fans.
I like the fact
their
that
fans.
Maynard hates his own fans.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I actually
it's a lot
love
of their
that.
Fans.
I love that.
Yeah, it's great.
He's like, they're all like Neanderthals, and I'm like, yes, they are.
It's the same way with like. I want to be into Tool for the same reason that I want to be into the Foo Fighters, because I love Maynard and I love Dave Grohl, but for some reason it just never clicked with me.
Deftones has a similar feel. We all love the Deftones.
Yeah.
They're so fucking cool, and a big part. We kind of grew up with their music. Fans ass.
Yeah.
Most of them.
They smell like that too.
I feel that way about a lot of. That's why I don't go out to a lot of like punk shows. Like Anti-Flag just put out a fucking new record, and I think it's great, and I would love to go see it live. But I don't want to hang out with a bunch of crazy social justice warriors all night long.
Oh
So it's like maybe not.
We that's funny. Can we bring up a party we played? With
Absolutely.
Those types of individuals.
Oh yeah, we played for the dude who does pages per content. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I do. Maybe. I think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the.
They're very nice. Very nice.
He's cool. It's like in west, like Southwest Phoenix.
It's in Maryville, for sure.
Well, it's not. No, that's not Maryville.
I thought it was. It's like really far.
Is it the crack house?
Well, Maryville
like
is north and further west.
Okay, fair enough.
This
is
like this neighborhood is by the where the
right
fair is, where the state fair is.
In the kitchen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. No,
it was a little sketchy.
Yeah, it was great when we got done, and the drummer and his fiance and like we're all hanging out. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
And we're like went back to the backyard, just like trying to blow off steam after being in that
fire
tiny ass fucking. I sang out of a karaoke machine.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Yeah, this one asshole was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and he's like, I bet that chick over there gives great blowjobs. I'm like, what the fuck? This asshole wants to fight at 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah, we just had to be like, oh, all right, we need to leave because
this guy's on meth. I can tell.
It's weird, man, because you get both like in the same area. At the same shows, you can find people who are so fucking opposite in the exact in both ways. Like you can find someone who is crazy piece of shit, like drug addict, like that, and then you can find like really crazy, like want to be offended people in the same exact section, hang out together. And I don't understand how they coexist. Somehow it's some symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, no, and I like that their band was. I think that I offended them because I'm kind of like, if you haven't been able to tell, I'm very like deadpan how I say things.
It's extremely rude.
Yeah, yeah. But I said that they
the
like
audacity.
They like whatever. Do you remember the band name?
Songs Lacking Talent.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one. I thought they were interesting in like early
super dry,
early
sound.
Velvet Underground type of
sure.
very rough thing, and I was like, you guys arted all over the place. And I think they thought that was a slight, but I was like being authentic. I thought it was really great. Yeah. So if they're listening to this, I actually liked you.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry.
I can't say anything negative about those guys. We played that
They're
house.
really nice people. Yeah. They're really awesome.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Moses
that girl's,
Fidelis.
Moses.
That girl's vocals is really like ethereal too.
Yeah, she was really chill too. Like I like all those people.
Yeah, I know. I like all those people too. It's so funny. I talk about like I try not to put my foot in my mouth or anything like that. But those. That house was cool. We played that house before.
Yeah,
and it was a really good time. And we got like some of the best pictures we've ever gotten. Or from like someone just like the only cool live photographs we've gotten aside from like, the last few months where we befriended a photographer, just like whoever shows up with a camera.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure, for sure, yeah.
Like now we have a friend who we always like bring with us and stuff like that. But before that, it was just like luck of the draw. Like where are we gonna get good photos?
No, I dig that. Yeah, and I think that was like an interesting thing. But you got to have DJ Suppatime on here.
Who?
Yeah, he was just there.
He was this guy. Okay, and if he's listening, he's not listening to this. Fuck this guy.
I have a feeling he's not.
Anyway, this guy came on. And he's like 2 after us, and he comes on. Hey, y'all motherfuckers got drugs? And we're like, okay, let me set the stage. That sounded like an angry black man. He was in fact not that. He was a very white guy with a lisp. So
no, he didn't have a lisp. He had
a
like
lisp.
No, it wasn't a lisp. It was like that. I got a retainer in my mouth.
Oh
like,
yeah. Yeah, he did a lot of that. Yeah. Stop it.
It was that, like
totally.
side lisp.
So I'm DJ Suppatime, and he's like in this kitchen, right? He's about to spit bars, like y'all motherfuckers got drugs, and this girl's like, I think my boyfriend has like ecstasy or something. He's like, I want some of that, and he's like, how much? And she's like, I don't want it. And like, I think his hype man was on heroin. Like,
that's weird.
Can you talk about how he dropped the N-word several times?
Yeah, yeah, it was cringy. Like, yeah, as a white heterosexual male in America, I was highly offended.
As much as a white man can be.
Yeah, exerting my privilege.
That was at that same show we played at.
Yeah.
Like right after us.
And their beats, because they're singing out of a karaoke machine, and these are just out of like laptop speakers, were definitely louder than how they're rapping. So it was he's like, like whispering, and he's like, DJ Suppatime, and this hype man's like, hey guys,
Suppertime, is that what it is?
Hey guys,
Suppa.
Got it.
Suppa.
Like super joint.
Yeah. But you should have him on. He'd probably be amazing.
Apparently I need to.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you like. That's a great thing about Phoenix, man. Is Phoenix. The reason that I always love Phoenix is that, and there's a big difference between Phoenix and LA. I always tell my friends who are in bands in LA, like, get out of there. Like, come over to Phoenix, because in LA, you can be a band with 20,000 likes on Facebook, and you've gone on multinational tours and all this shit. And then you play, let's say you play a show, like a festival show in LA with fucking like 15 other bands. None of them would have heard of you because there's so
saturated.
Much.
Yeah.
Whereas you come to Phoenix, you get 3,000 likes on your Facebook page, and everybody knows who you are, and there's a lot of you. And there's a scene that can help push you up, and there's so many different places to play, and pay to play isn't a thing out here unless you're like Lucky Man or some shit. Like you don't really worry about pay to play
Or
that
like
much.
Mantooth kind of does that.
It's like
a little,
sell tickets.
Well, you work there.
I don't
not
work
throwing.
there. I don't work there.
I thought you
girlfriend
worked
works
at.
there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, my
51
girlfriend works
bucks.
there.
It's. I'm not throwing shade, but
Yeah.
it's not pay to play, but they give you tickets to sell basically.
With Mantooth, it's like this: they give you tickets to sell, and if you don't sell the tickets, you just might not get asked to play for them again. As opposed to like you have to pay what you don't make. It depends on the show too, for the most part. But it's that ticket. But that ticket grind can like pays off, man. Like it can anyway. I know certain bands who, like Sink or Swim, for instance.
Yeah.
They played a couple of those local showcases for Marquee, and they fucking hustled hard to sell those tickets. And then the next show that they played there, they were opening for Soul Asylum. So like it works. Like it will get you to play. You know,
It'll take you that runaway
shows.
train.
Yeah.
Like, real quick.
Yeah.
Like you can play for bigger show, but that's also their kind of music. They're I feel like Sink or Swim's fans are kind of like the Radio Rock fans a little bit more, you know what I mean? Which is awesome for them. Like
for sure.
It's obviously working.
Yeah.
But anyway,
as long as you
it
love
works.
the music you play, I
Yeah.
think that's what it's the people who like do sellout stuff, and it's like just to like be famous or popular. You're just gonna hate what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's like working a shitty job that you hate.
I'm not gonna remember their name because I don't, but there was this one group we played with, and this would kind of be the archetype of what you're talking about. And the lead singer looked like some kind of ginger Scott Weiland offshoot.
Wearing like that shark tooth, like
yeah, they look like they were
necklace,
brought to
you know what I'm
by.
talking about with the black.
I think I know who
with
this is.
They were brought to you by PacSun, I think. And I'm not.
They're locals?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were. And if you know their name, just don't say it out
I'm
loud.
not
But what I thought, because I feel like there's a lot of terrific, authentic musicians. I felt like what they were doing was trying to do an act.
Yeah, it's not authentic.
They did. You could tell it wasn't. Like they didn't really believe in what they're doing. They just thought that these are some songs that would get some college girls out. And I don't know. I feel like at this point, especially when like talk about the James Band, for instance.
Have you seen them live, by the way?
I've never had. No.
Oh my God, you have to.
So fucking good.
So
I'm sorry.
yeah, but what I'm saying is like we are local, and at this point there should be no pretense, and you should be able to do whatever you want because there's no label, there's no manager telling you can and cannot do something.
Yeah.
And James Band makes a show a happening for sure. It's like Jeff Buckley going up into space with the Sun Ra Orchestra.
Lead singer, because they're like their recordings, they don't play them like exactly live.
Yeah.
Like at least at this show we played with
For
them, and it was more like electronic, and they would like drone on it, and the lead singer would just get up. He went off the stage and went up and was like going on the floor, like spinning, like singing and
like,
screaming.
I was
fucking cool.
sober and I thought I was on drugs.
Yeah, it was
For
so
sure.
fucking
In a
cool.
good way. In a good way.
Yeah, for sure.
But
There's a lot of crazy local. I mean, like Playboy Man Baby, I feel like is one of the archetypes of like, fuck man, like this is how you do it. Like, and from a business perspective too, because Robbie Pfeiffer is a really, really legitimately smart like businessman when it comes to marketing his music and marketing. So it's like you can do both. Like you can be a smart, strategic businessman and a non-pretentious asshole at the same time.
Yes, exactly. No, I'll tell you. And I think that there's more room for authentic music. I think that
people want that. They don't want the fucking douchebag.
Yeah, it's
in a
like
leather
corporate
vest.
bullshit. It's
Yeah.
it's like I'd rather not go to KFC. I'd rather go to Miss White's down, for fried chicken. It's just like it's just so like fucking fake.
And people who go to local scenes are obviously more invested than your average concert goer. So they have more that they're looking for, and you don't have to come out in a fuzzy jacket and sunglasses on in a dark venue and act like you own the shit when you have like 200 likes on Facebook and you're a local band. Like you don't impress us with your legitimacy. That's
at this point, at this level, it's just about like make good music.
Yes. Absolutely.
Because you're not going to be shit if you're not making good music at this level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree with you.
And the thing is, too, I think that if you do something unique, obviously you're living in a space that's all your own instead of if you're doing something like that particular band that may not be named ever. You know, like what they were doing has already that road has been tread before, and I'm saying this as a band that's regurgitating late '80s and early '90s shoegaze, like
Derivative bullshit.
I mean,
yeah, we're
speaking of
derivative
ourselves.
That's our whole entire first album was just like our surf record collections at the time. So they totally understand.
I think I've actually seen you guys. I was talking about this with. Did you open one time at Rebel with the Apaches?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that for
And Holy Fawn was on that bill?
No,
Holy Fawn
that was Ringo Death.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
was that
thinking
the
of-
Paper Foxes show?
I think so. There was
Probably.
okay. So I remember, and this is maybe I drink too much, but you know, like I'm trying to piece together.
We're gonna try to not name names. It's like a celebrity autobiography.
Yeah. But I remember that was the night. There was this one band because I think that you guys might have gone first.
Was it the Crazy Punk Band?
Yeah, that
Yes.
said like
this for all
fuck
the
you
meth
guys.
heads and tweakers.
Yeah, and then like everyone left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I was one of those
Gotcha.
people that were like we had to watch it in the back, but like really far back. And I think we might have gotten berated for being so far back, but like their tweaker girlfriend
Dude.
was also giving them shit. Like
Yeah, that
he's
was
like fuck you guys. Like every song was that.
and their drum broke or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was that we played that show. That was a rough show for us. So hopefully you get out to one in the future.
Yeah, here's the irony. I feel like sometimes we have a hard time getting on Rebel.
Yeah.
And then, like, in the back of my head, I'm thinking about that particular band every time.
No, Jeff. Just to his credit, Jeff's a really cool guy, and he works with
Yeah,
you.
uh-huh.
We're actually trying to set up a Rebel show in February, like a shoegaze show, which we have Citrus and the band Shallow. Are you familiar with them? Listen to Shallow; they are fucking good.
God, there's so much.
I know.
I love it though. That's what I love about
Yeah.
Again, the thing about Phoenix is
Yeah.
like everyone's connected and there's all these new bands popping up.
Oh,
but
dude,
then-
I didn't hear about them until I saw Citrus played at Rogue, like a few weeks ago.
Have you
And-
had Citrus on?
No, I've never met them or seen them or anything
You
like that.
want me to
I've
introduce
heard
you
their
tomorrow
music.
night?
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, dude, they're
Eric's-
really
Eric's-
cool.
Eric's
They're
really
really
good.
cool.
Yeah.
And it's only 3-piece, so you can have all
Uh-huh.
three on. Yeah, dude, listen to Shallow. They are fucking good. They opened up for Citrus. I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? They're amazing. Why haven't I heard of
Yeah.
them? And so
I wasn't
there's a
there,
few
but they
bands
told me
like
about it.
there's a few bands like me. Well, I was there with Chris, and then
Yeah.
Lo showed up later. And Mute Swan played that show and everything.
Mute Swan's amazing.
Yeah, Mute Swan's sweet. They're
Yeah,
from Tucson.
Tucson.
Okay, got it.
We
yeah.
played at Valley with them and Luau. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's another one of bands.
They are
those
literally,
bands,
and
like-
I'm going to go on record, and I might be throwing shade at people, but they are literally, if you call Tucson local, you know, they are my favorite band. They're
That's
literally,
awesome.
they literally should be one of the biggest bands out there right now. Period.
That's
Yeah,
how
they're
I
really
feel.
good.
I feel that way about a lot of bands, but like legitimately, like if I were to think like what two bands do I know that should actually be like logistically successful as hell?
Yeah.
Would be Bear Ghost and what I consider to be my favorite local band, which is an alt country band called American Longspurs. They're like the two bands where I listen to their music and I'm like, there's no reason other than like maybe luck that or like shit luck that these bands aren't super fucking famous.
Bear Ghost is huge too. They play like
But
all
they're
the
not
big.
at the same time.
They're huge like locally.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
They
They're
play like
wonderful.
all the big like local shows. But
love
yeah,
them.
it's weird that I thought they were touring. I thought they were like kind of starting to blow
Right?
up a little bit.
I mean, I feel like they are.
Or am I
but
thinking of Bear State?
Bear
I
State.
always get
I
them
don't
like
think Bear
mixed
Ghost
around.
is touring. or
Okay,
anything
maybe
like
it's
that.
Bear State I'm thinking of.
Yeah, but
That I
Bear
see all
Ghost
the
is
time.
like, but like they're like they wrote the morning jingle or whatever for Homer's Morning Sickness, which is like
Oh, shit.
I don't listen to that, but at the same time it's like
Yeah,
they
that's
have
not our
they have
demographic.
stuff like exactly
Yeah.
they have stuff like that, but at the same time for some reason those other steps haven't been like. It just sucks. I fucking love that band. I think they could get so every single person I show them to is immediately
Yeah.
like, God, this is amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I feel
Yeah.
that way about like Citrus Clouds.
Yeah.
Embarrassingly, my wife went up drunkenly to Justin. I know you're listening, Justin. And embarrassed both of us.
Talking about Celebration Guns, not Citrus Clouds,
Oh, Celebration Guns. Sorry.
Yeah.
and also Citrus Clouds.
Yeah,
because
both of them.
listen-
They're great. But Celebration Guns, my wife drunkenly went up to him after like the comp show.
Yeah.
Lumberjack comp show, and like was like, I love you guys. You guys are my favorite local band.
I'm always that guy. but I'm
There's
not-
me,
I'm
but-
not-
It's all right,
It's
yeah.
always me.
I
that I'm
appreciate.
never drunk.
Yeah, they're really good. I love them because I love that like math rock style, and I think he hates that.
I want to talk about
description,
math
but
rock for a
it's
second.
great.
Like, what is math rock exactly?
It's just
one of
odd
those
time,
things-
odd syncopation type of
You
thing.
do
Like
trigonometry.
yeah, trigonometry.
Sonic trigonometry.
Yeah. You look at
A
the
lot of
sine,
tapping.
cosine.
A lot of that, like tapping and stuff. This town needs guns. Early maps and atlases. Terramellos.
Okay, terrible.
Stuff like that. It's just odd syncopation, weird time signature.
Okay,
Would you say Between the Buried and Me?
Actually, yeah, but they're metal. They're a metal band, but
Uh-huh.
they're extremely talented. I don't listen to them anymore.
I'm just trying to throw my 2009 cred.
Yeah, but
Protest the Hero.
wait, hold up. Yeah, dude, Protest the Hero kind of does that. I will say though, I don't listen to the music anymore, but Colors by Between the Buried and Me is a fantastic album.
Like I say,
I
Colors
won't
by
ever-
Crossfade. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
we can
that's that-
let's
that's
put
that
on
deep cut.
Crossfade right now. Let's put on Staring Down the Barrel to 45.
man.
Let's put
Is
on that song.
No, that's
Shine
not the
Down.
same band.
Is that
That's
Shine
Shine
Down?
It's all the same. It was all the same.
It's the same shit.
This guy though, like, truth be told, this motherfucker right here loves fucking really bad music videos from 2001. Like, he will hit up
like what?
Saliva like
Oh, shit.
right
Oh,
now.
if people are just like chilling around, not really paying attention, you bet your ass I'm popping up Saliva on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like in the background.
And it's hard to believe how greasy these people were. Like, you know, like
so goddamn greasy.
yeah. Like I just remember like watching like Papa Roach videos on TRL in middle school. And then you look at it now and you're like, how the fuck were they famous? They're like, you know, like, I don't know. I
Not
don't
in a
get
cool
it.
way. Just I feel the way about Lit. I remember watching like the Mayan vs. Enemy video.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this doesn't even look like excessively shitty. This just looks lame. Like,
But they had those cool shirts.
They were wearing like wife beaters, weren't they?
Yeah.
Or like Hawaiian
It was
shirts,
like
Smash Mouth.
wife
Yeah.
beaters and those big ass like pants. It was-
Yeah.
Just shit like you shouldn't wear together.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
does not go together.
God damn.
Guys, are we dancing around the greatest band of all time, aka Smash Mouth?
Oh, dude.
Just kidding.
Oh, you got to look up on YouTube. Some guy does Smash Mouth, but it's in like 3/8 time or something like that.
That sounds awesome.
It's terrible, but it's amazing.
Okay,
is
that's what
amazing.
we're in.
I
Smash
send-
Mouth is making a comeback.
I will say that every like few weeks, I think I try to send Nate a cover of Smash Mouth,
I believe
like
that.
late at night.
Yeah.
Our drummer, I think, is actually a fan of Smash Mouth because he constantly makes fun of them in a way that makes me like. It's like
You think about them too much.
It's like when you're teenagers and you have like your gay friend who's like, I can't wait to get pussy, guys, and you know, like one day you're gonna feel confident and come out and it's gonna be great, but you know,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
feel like he's that guy with Smash Mouth where he makes so many jokes about them so pervasively
Yeah.
that I'm certain that he's actually a
So-
Smash Mouth
We
fan.
should totally listen to Smash Mouth right now, right?
So yeah, let me use the transitive property real fast.
Yeah.
This is that math rock shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so using the transitive property
Okay.
of Smash Mouth,
Yeah.
your drummer is a fan, but he also might be gay because you equated the same. So a squared plus b squared.
Just think of that. Matt
equals
says
C
all
squared.
homosexuals love Smash Mouth.
I think that's what
That's
Steven-
on the record. He said that.
Yeah. Fake news.
But fake news. Shit. So I
You
was-
should probably get Pence to like give him some therapy,
Yeah. Some
conversion
some
therapy.
conversion therapy.
Yeah.
So you guys are like really, I could tell over the last, because I've been seeing you guys all over the social medias over the last couple months.
Really, you have?
Yeah,
I haven't been paying attention.
I've been seeing you like pop up on articles and this and events and yada yada yada. I already get the feeling that you guys were very ambitious. Am I wrong in that assumption, or would you consider yourself to be ambitious, at least right now?
I think we
I think
care
Yeah.
about what we put out. Sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to.
no, that's fine. I think that to add to that, I think that we're ambitious not only for ourselves, though. We're ambitious for the city in terms of music and music that we enjoy. Because, like, you go to Viva Phoenix and you see, 300 people packing Valley Bar to see Temples or something, and you're like, or you just stroll down Roosevelt Row.
Or
with
go to
all-
First Friday, and
Right.
there's just like there's a shitload of people.
Yeah,
here.
that I think would dig local music. But the thing is like the way the city's set up, we're at a disadvantage, and you have to know that a show's going on to go to it. You have to drive to. It's a destination, so it's like you could be in that situation complacent and be like, okay, well, I guess people aren't going to come see me play this weekend, or you could try to do something and try to foster the talent and kind of make it more of I'm good. I'll probably have one in a second. But like to kind of showcase the talent to a market that is already here. I don't want to look at it as like a business, but like you have to get people in the door. Like if you make music and no one hears it, what's the point?
I mean, it is a business. Like it has to be both. Like, like you have to be able to. Man, you don't have to be fucking Gene Simmons, but you have to somehow put these two things together, and you don't have to do it sleazily, and you don't have to shove shit in people's faces. But at the end of the day, like you kind of have to be that guy and do it. But if you do it majestically and you do it humbly, then more people will be attracted to you. So you know, I mean,
I think that what we're doing is we're very. We do a lot of curating of our own songs. Like we've written a lot of songs that never go anywhere. Instead of being that band that releases we wrote this song, so everyone's got to hear it. It's like it's knowing that something's not good enough, and I guess, and also just like trying to find the right pocket because we don't equate to everyone. While I think that the songs are fairly. They're gettable. It's not like some.
They're
kind
well thought. We write pop songs with a shitload of effects on it.
Right.
Like just being fair.
I agree.
No,
like structure wise,
it is accessible. It's very accessible.
But it's not everyone's cup of tea, and you know, we just have to figure out the bands and connect with the bands that kind of have a similar.
Like we don't necessarily sound like Panic Baby, for example.
No, we don't.
We don't sound like them at all, but they're really good friends, and they have that similar like kind of. You know, they have the similar like love where we're good or pretty decent friends with Jared and Raquel from that band, and they have a similar like want and love for the music and want to bring people out.
If you use herbal supplements, I think that we'd both be very good for that.
That's a Crash Bandicoot tattoo, right?
Indeed, it is.
You didn't know that.
I did actually. I didn't want to ask about it though. I was trying to be polite.
No, I know.
Why he wants
it's
people to ask about it. He
Yeah,
has a tattoo
it's
on
multicolored on my forearm. You can talk to me about it. I mean, how shitty would that be if I was like, yeah, go away?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my house. About this large tattoo I have on my arm.
Dude, a fucking...
I don't want to objectify people, okay?
This tattoo was actually like one of the scariest things I've ever done because I got it. An apprentice who I was best friend, close friends with from high school.
You were on The Apprentice?
Yeah. I was on The Apprentice.
Let's talk about more about how you were on The Apprentice real quick.
Fucking more fake news. But like, it was an apprentice who had done like 4 tattoos, and I was like, yeah, do a huge piece on my forearm. And it worked out because
it looks cool.
But like, God, that could have gone so badly.
Yeah.
And it's like just like kind of
you could have had the
weird
mask
enough or
mask.
different enough to where like a lot of people outside of like our age range probably really don't.
That's true.
know. I just played a shitload of Crash Bandicoot 2 when I was little.
Dude, I just got the remaster. Like, I'm the master at that. Like, there's 2 games that I can fuck in the face like no other video game in the world, and it's Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3, and any Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. For whatever reason, I can murder you.
I might have to take you up on that if you have 2. If you have Tony Hawk 2, I may be
Tony Hawk 2, interesting choice.
I got it for N64 at home.
Oh, see, I was all PlayStation.
I don't fuck around. I had a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Or PlayStation as well. But yeah, Tony Hawk 2. I'm just like
Ollie the Bum, man. It's all about Ollie the Bum. Anyway, yeah. So
so
your music
getting back.
is good.
Yeah. Thanks.
I've had a couple beers. This is like
cool.
I'm almost 3 down. So.
No, you're good.
Okay, fair enough.
Are those good? So you're drinking Blue Moon Mango? I've never had anything but the OG Blue Moon.
Here you go,
before.
man.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah.
I want to give this because I've never had this before.
Yeah,
it's refreshing. I wasn't
refreshing.
doing that to procure.
He cares more about being safe while driving.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, it's a no tolerance state. That's the thing about Arizona is like it's scary, man. Like I wonder every single time I'm at a bar, I'm like, how the fuck are all you going home? Like, because I get so paranoid about that.
You hope Uber, but that's not
Like 3 is kind of my max, and then I'll like chill a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Their apricot wheat. I will go on record. It's very tasty
really?
as well. Yeah, I don't care if everyone's like, those motherfuckers are basic ass bitches. But
they're owned by Miller, bro.
It's their pumpkin spice.
Yeah, that's true.
They do have that.
Do they really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do have a.
Don't they have a
pumpkin spice.
horchata one?
They
Yeah,
do.
that's what it is.
It's
That's
horchata.
horchata. Yeah. I've had that
Which
one.
I've lived in the Southwest long enough. I fucking love horchata. So
Yeah.
I'll drink that
My
shit.
dig
but-
right now is the seasonal Sam Adams. The winter ale, the seasonal Sam Adams, the winter ale. Oh,
Sam Adams is good at like they have always good beers, but they could just get boring after a while. But
Yeah.
they usually do a pretty good job at making
that was
like
my thing.
decent beers.
I bought the variety pack, and by like my third or fourth one, I was like, dude, they're just putting different wrappers on this fucking thing.
yeah, that's kind of what they do. It's like the variety pack always had like cherry wheat, which I thought was the grossest beer in the
Yeah,
world.
it was like drinking
Robitussin,
Like, yeah, it
right?
was. Yeah.
It's like literally
Yeah. I don't
Robitussin.
have
Like
that
where's
Don't
the
they
challenge?
have a cranberry one?
I don't know.
They have
I haven't
like
fucked with
they
Sam
have like
Adams in a
an
while since I like
oatmeal
went to
wheat one.
Boston.
They have
Oatmeal
like a
wheel wouldn't be bad. but-
chocolate something too.
Yeah.
That one
Yeah.
makes me.
I won't
nervous.
lie. Okay, so one of the and since we're like way off topic here, I Shock Top has a like pretzel one, and Shock Top's normally ass, but they have a pretzel one that
Shots
is
fucking fired on Shock Top.
yeah,
Just kidding.
It's like the McDonald's of Blue Moon.
yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
It totally is. Yeah,
Go on.
but like they have this really good. It's a pretzel. It tastes like a pretzel. Like
like
if
a
you, I guess if you want to drink a pretzel, that shit's
That's
out there.
weird.
Dude, I gotta
Yeah.
get you this German beer. It tastes like you're drinking ham. It's like it's a smoked beer. It's
That's what
straight up
everyone's
tastes like
always
ham.
wanted.
I'm gonna pass.
It's
on
like
that
I
one.
wish this beer tastes like ham though. like
I wish it was like rum ham.
yeah.
What if you find out that it was like distilled in the belly of
Distilled
a pig?
ham. No, this is literally ham. That's why it's thick as
what's
fuck.
the food? What's the fucking like Scottish food that they do that with? Or they like?
Oh,
they,
it's stomach.
haggis.
Haggis.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
haggis beer. They just distilled it in the belly of
Oh
a pig.
god. Yeah, it's like menudo. You just like don't ask questions.
No, you don't ask questions. You just eat it because it's delicious.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's how I
the
feel
only
about
thing.
gas station food. I had a gas station hot dog today, and I was like, I don't care what's in this because this is really good.
Yeah, for like sometimes
As long
you
as
know
it
where
doesn't
you're
have
going,
like a
you're just
leathery skin, I think you're good. Did it have that leather
it
on
didn't.
it?
No,
No,
it
that's
didn't.
like that Florida skin. Like I've been out in the sun too long.
Florida's. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyway, talking about the EP.
Yeah. The EP.
yeah. It's fire. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, like it's. I think. What were we talking about with the EP?
So the EP,
I've lost
just
it. I
going,
lost the
not
plot.
going back to that, but just starting on that.
This is my
I-
favorite part of the podcast, by the way.
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like the golden part
When you're
of
down
every
a few
podcast
beers.
that I do is
Yeah.
like half to like 3/4 of the way in. and
Right.
Everyone's just
We've
like,
lost
chilling.
the plot here.
That's
No.
what I love it.
I think the most fun and awesome part about the EP is like it was basically like a straight up collaboration of me and Cory, just like making songs. Like, hey, dude, I really like this chord progression. What can you do with it? I fucking suck at writing melodies. And he's the singer. Like, what can you do with the melody with this chord progression, or like how can we make this like into a song, sort of deal, and just working together and collaborating and making like a fucking album that's fucking sweet.
He's very modest.
No, it's-
No,
I'm a few beers down. I love our music.
Good.
No,
If you
I-
want to
it's
determine
important.
if you love our music or
Yeah,
not,
no.
please look us up on Bandcamp or Spotify or wherever you find
Wow,
your music.
Yeah.
Go
No,
on.
I really think that to me, out of all the bands, this is no bullshit, and Chris and I have talked about this as well, that this is probably the better songs we've written in our career, which is cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Out of all the bands that I've personally been in,
Yeah.
these are like the best songs.
And I guess if you don't like us, then you could just be like, well, there are other songs.
Like,
that should be
try
worse.
harder.
Yeah, yeah. And but also the other thing I'm very excited for is we have Travis from Broken Girls collab on our song Scooter from Dallas, which I think is just called Scooter actually.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Broken Girls from
I'm
Affluent Backgrounds?
familiar with their name and social media, but not with their music. Unfortunately,
They're pretty cool. They're pretty talented guys. Chris, their guitarist, is really good.
I'm trying to fill up your schedule. You should interview them.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
No problem.
So wait, there's another band who I feel like plays in a similar kind of music as like, or a band that would fit on a bill with you guys, and they're called like Ghost something or something. Fuck, I feel like they're one of those bands who I don't see around.
Ghost Island?
Yes, Ghost Island.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with? Obviously,
I've heard them before. Yeah.
Okay, that's all. That's the end. That's the end of my statement.
End of story.
They popped into my head, and I was like, "Oh, you guys
it's
should play with
terrific,
Ghost
man.
Island."
Yeah.
Really
Ghost
good.
Hunters.
Or fucking Moonsy
Ghost-
Stars. Moonsy Stars are fucking rad too. Do you know them?
Moonsy Stars?
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard that before.
They're instrumental post rock.
Oh, yeah,
but
yeah.
really goddamn good.
Oh, right
really,
on.
really good.
like Russian circles where it's more like rock. So I don't know if you're
It's like
familiar with
it's
them,
more like it's definitely a little bit more of a rock base.
Like
I would
Caspian
say more of a
shit.
like I see. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth because I don't know enough about like post rock.
You're getting in deep with.
I'm getting in deep here, but I feel like it's more of like a darker, slightly more night sounding version of maybe Take Care.
Okay,
It's that kind of maybe, but like it's one of those things like my dad like doesn't know anything about music, so or about the music. He does. He like that's where I got a lot of my music from, but he doesn't know anything about the music that I'm currently listening to.
Yeah.
So he'll try to make comparisons, and it's always fucking ridiculous. And I
You
feel
know,
like
it's
that's
like
what
this
I'm
Led
doing.
Zeppelin song.
Like, well, no, it'll
Yeah.
be like what's that? Like, you know, those bands, remember those bands you used to listen to in high school, 30 Seconds to Mars? They sound a lot like Bullet for My Valentine. And I'm like, nah, they don't actually
say
at all.
My
Dad.
Bloody Valentine?
No, Bullet for My
Bullet
Valentine.
for My
So-
Valentine.
Oh, okay.
I was like, nah,
I
Dad,
was
they
like, My
actually
Bloody
don't.
Valentine. No, that doesn't sound anything like. But anyway.
We're talking about Bullet for My Valentine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
the
No.
bro butt metal.
I totally understand that because my mom, I love her to death. I remember like I'm like really into Radiohead and they're my favorite band. But she was like, yeah, Moody Blues. They sound a lot like Radiohead, which I guess like maybe like if you squint like super hard and you go deaf, like
You know
Yeah.
that Bob Seger song, Turn the Page? That's basically Radiohead.
yeah, that's kind of like So
What do you guys feel? We brought up Muse earlier. I remember a long time ago I heard Ricky Gervais say that if he wanted to listen to Radiohead, he would just listen to Radiohead as opposed to listen to Muse. And I always kind of wondered.
that's a nice riff.
Like, do you feel that? Because we brought up both bands now.
Yeah.
They're both on the table. Do you feel like there is that healthy of a comparison between the two?
They're
No.
so different.
That's what
They're
I was
so
thinking,
different.
too.
Yeah.
And Muse is more like rock and more pop appeal to it.
This is also back in like 2004.
For sure.
Right.
And what's that?
I think-
Black Holes and Revelations.
Yeah.
That album's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
And like,
yeah, but I would say like the more apt comparison would be like making fun of Coldplay,
Yeah.
which is funny because Fox News recently. I mean, we can make fun of Fox News all
Yeah,
we want,
let's
but
do it.
but they said that Radiohead was stealing from Coldplay, which is hilarious, especially with the chronology of
how
know.
the band's formed.
Yeah.
And to their credit, I might get shade for this, but the first 3 albums that
Yeah.
Coldplay put out are
Four.
fantastic.
You got to include Viva La Vida. Come on.
Yeah, Viva La Vida's the first 4 albums they put out are fantastic, and
we
then
were
they sold out a little bit.
unabashedly putting them on the table.
I like that song so much that I wanted to like the album so much, and I just never did.
Well, and I'm going to get
Yeah.
a lot of shit for this, and I hope that you have a comment section because people are like, fuck that asshole. But truthfully, like when I heard, I'm a huge Beatles fan, so I look at everything as like the chronology of how the Beatles progressed.
Absolutely.
And I look at Viva La Vida was like them, it was kind of like, wasn't as good, but it was kind of like the Revolver. I was anxious for what their Sgt. Pepper would be. And they went the other way. They were like, okay, fuck that. We're going to make money and we're going to do like a dance music. You know,
it
and then
was
like,
so shitty.
yeah,
the
but it
release
was
after
like
that.
it was like the
It was
cusp of something
disappointing.
that could have been great.
Because
And-
Viva La Vida is so different than their other
Yeah,
stuff.
well,
It's
it-
a Rush
it's-
of Blood to the Head,
it's
and then X and
huge.
Y is kind of like expanding on
well,
Rush of
you
Blood
have
in the
Brian
Head.
Eno for 2 records. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna make fire.
Dude, a Rush of Blood to the Head it's got like all the bangers on it.
No, you gotta go Parachutes, man.
Parachutes.
No, Parachutes is their
That's the
best
OG.
album. It's
Yeah.
their best album. And this is getting a little bit into like the Coldplay podcast.
Yeah.
no, it's not.
But yeah, you mentioned the other stuff, the articles and stuff like that. We'll go back. That was like 45
yeah, you
minutes
guys.
ago
Are,
at
yeah,
least.
you guys are doing things. You're ambitious.
Yeah, we were on 93.3 played us last night.
Oh yeah, we were on there last. Yeah, dude, 93.3 is a shit. We were on
Yeah,
there last week.
it was the cool as fuck. And if you're listening to this, you can still vote for us.
Mo Radio.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got the votes on to try to get in the showcase thing. Hopefully, and Celebration Guns is helping us. They're like, I don't give a fuck.
That's
So
awesome.
they're just helping us.
No, that's pretty.
'Cause
yeah,
they're on there
really,
too.
They're really amazing in that regard.
And we're on Primal. What is it? Primal Blog.
Yeah, the Primal Music blog. It's
Primal
out of-
Music
out of
blog.
the UK.
Their shoegaze blog. They did a review.
We got 4 out of 5. We could have been. We're so close.
We're so close. I'm sure it was your fault somehow.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Have you guys sent your stuff to Mitchell Hillman yet? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, we're familiar.
I'm sure if it's not this month, it'll probably be next month.
We got actually an email back from I guess it's the editor
for New Times or Java.
For Java.
Java, yeah.
We got written about it for New Time. We did an interview with Megan Mastriani from New Time. She was pretty cool. That was a lot of fun. Because we were just fucked around for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I feel bad for her.
Yeah, she was recording the whole thing. We're just fucking around for 2 hours.
I will say that I felt like I loved what she did, but then all my quotes, I felt like I looked like a dumbass. You know, like, well, we're doing a 12-month EP release or 12-month single month release, and
she took the jabroni quotes.
Yeah, for me only. But yeah, it was kind of funny. I was like, well, everyone's gonna be different, and so like we'll be different. I'm like, I said different 8 times in a sentence.
You sound like the girl who says like all the time.
like.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man.
Well, we did that, and Java, and we did the New Times thing, the AZ Central, basically posted like a thing like, go see this
That's
show.
That's what I mean.
December
Like,
1st,
and there's like this concentrated amount of time where it's like, oh, guess what? This is a fucking band, and they're like everywhere.
Yeah, that's what we're
awesome.
trying to do.
Well,
like just trying media.
Well, you
blitz
fucking. This is the icing on the cake for
EP
you
show.
guys. So
If we had
congratulations.
a bit more time, because I think that we were a bit behind the 8 ball there. We could have done more, if we're honest. But
I think we did a lot, and for what it is, and I love playing at Last Sec. We played at Last Sec at one time. But the sound is so good there, and it's fun, and the Deuce is right there, so you can get drunk at the Deuce afterwards.
We were told not to play Last Exit. I had people telling me like, no, Last Exit is a shithole. Don't fucking play Last Exit. It's an awful location. Yada yada yada. Well, and the location, I'll give them that. It's not.
Dude, South Phoenix is dog shit.
But let's be honest. Every single venue in the city is kind of isolated.
I agree.
Even if you go to Valley Bar or Crescent.
Yep.
It's right in the heart of downtown, but yet it is a destination.
So
you have to go there.
We got a fucking Saturday night booked there once.
Yeah.
Crazy. Like
at Valley or Last Exit?
At Last Exit.
Yeah.
And we weren't expecting anything because, again, everyone was like, nah, I'm not going to be there. Like, rough, whatever. They didn't like it. So we play, and it was fucking awesome. The people were great. The sound was awesome. We could, like, hang out in that little area right out front, like, smoke and drink and have a great time. And I was so blown away by how good it sounded. Usually on stage, I can't tell how we sound, especially because we frequent a lot of all ages or DIY spots.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like where the piece of the indie scene that we kind of have been frequenting is kind of where it is. It's very DIY. Mm-hmm. So like, we played Last Exit, and even on stage, I'm like, damn, this is definitely sounding really good. And I got off stage, and my girlfriend is my harshest critic, which is what I want. Like, I want someone always with me who's like, this is better, this is better.
We'd say our
we're all in long-term relationships, so
I love that. Yeah. So I get off stage, and she's just like, dude, that sounded so fucking good. And I was like, all right, well, if you liked it, then it was definitely good, because she just like tears me apart.
Yeah, Last Exit sounded fucking great.
So
I love
cool.
They take a lot of time. I feel
the size of it, it's like a little bit smaller than Rebel, and it's like a good intimate feel, and the stage is big, so you don't feel crammed up there, which I fucking hate, because we all have big boards, so it's like I guess I'm not moving around.
My board's tiny. I'm not trying to
not playing the trunk
used
space.
to have a big board. Me and Nate have a big board.
Yeah, you do.
And then we have 5 people on there, 5 people on the stage.
That is a bit hard. Yeah.
It's a lot of space, but it was fucking rad. We played a EP release for the band The Edisons. We played with Broken Girls, Soft Deadlines, which is rad. You did one of those. Yeah, you did all of it, right? Us, and then
Quick question: Who or what the fuck is Chet Manley?
Oh, Chet Manley. That's Travis Williams.
That's Travis.
That's for Broken Girls.
I've been friends with whatever that is on Facebook for like 2 years.
He's a Russian troll.
What is Chet Manley?
That's his persona, I guess.
I don't know.
But Travis, his name is Travis.
Yeah,
he's the lead singer and rhythm guitar player for Broken Girls.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely not Archer.
He comes up as like a character or something in between songs or in between sets.
No,
he's like emceeing your show or something like that, right? Or
no, he is.
Or something?
He did backing vocals on one of our songs.
He's gonna sing the duet that we did. Yeah.
Oh, got it. I thought he was
when you say that, it's like the Like you're singing like a Johnny Cash song.
Yep.
Or the Let's Duet from Walk
Let's
Hard.
duet.
Yes, dude, that soundtrack is so fucking great.
I love that movie so much.
One of my best friends is a dwarf, and I played her "Let Me Hold You, Little Man" or whatever from that soundtrack. Gosh, she thought it was hilarious. Fucking love that movie.
It's so good. But yeah, that's Chet Manley's coming for that.
Gotcha.
Chet Manley, Travis Williams. Yeah, he's coming up for one of our tunes. That's on the EP. He does backing vocals because.
And you can ask him if you want, like, because I honestly don't know, and we've had the same conversation. Like anyone who's ever like he's friended on social media, you're like, who the fuck is that? And you're like, but like he's friends with all my friends, so he must be like someone I know. Yeah, I had no idea.
That's the thing about the music scene. If you friend enough people and you meet enough people, you get like 80 mutual friends with someone you've never heard of. Like I have no idea who this person is. That happens all the time with me, and I just friend them because fucking why not?
Like this dude is the rhythm guitar player in this random ass band.
Or this guy used to be in this band. That for sure. It happens all the time. That's what I like though. That's what's nice about social media is that you can just connect.
Like learn about people. Like the band Shallow. Like I've never heard of. There's this band Kolzonka, which you should listen to if you haven't heard them. They're
got
like,
a lot of homework, evidently.
Yeah, no, how do you spell that?
Kolezanka. It's this. She writes like the music, I guess, and then she has like a band that plays. Yeah, she's really fucking good.
It's very
and she has a bunch of likes on social media. And I'm like, why haven't I heard of you? And I literally found them from a New Times article that was like, why haven't we heard of them? They're really fucking cool. It's like chill, kind of dream poppy, almost like a Blonde Redhead, but less weird, more like accessible and chill.
Yeah, I would echo that.
Yeah, just really, really good. We tried to get them on the show in February, but unfortunately they're going on tour, so it didn't work out. But yeah, check them out. They're like
radio ready.
They're like you. That speaking of bands who should be like out there, like this is a band like you're kind of hitting below your belt. It's like a 10 dating a 6.
Yeah,
like,
for
it's
sure.
Like,
he must be funny.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this guy has a great ass personality. Or something.
Or he's girthy. One of the two.
Yeah, he's both.
He's just
he's a twofer.
He's just 10 on 10, 10 by 10.
10 by 10. Holy shit!
I don't know how that works, but
it's a green tea can.
Yeah, it's like you can. Like,
I've seen the internet. I've gone deep enough into the internet to not. Be
you don't
surprised.
follow 10 by 10 and then say I've gone deep. You don't say those two phrases next to each other.
Maybe it's a pun or play on words. I don't know.
Maybe
you
go deep.
Maybe it's like maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's her. I don't know.
Okay. Next question.
Let's move on. Subject other than penises.
So I'm gonna post this episode tonight.
Oh God.
Because your show's tomorrow. Usually I wouldn't. I posted like a solo podcast a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That
Was that the seasonal depression?
Yeah. That was me being fucking just like rambling to by myself.
It's okay, man.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I
It's
did.
fine.
That's how we knew the
How did I
title
know?
of it.
How did I know that?
He's like doing research real quick, like before he's walking into the apartment.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Usually I give it like a week in between, but you guys have a fucking show tomorrow night. We've got to fucking push that.
Raw and uncut. That's what's about to happen.
Yeah, straight up uncut because we're in America.
Bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys have to plug in the nearest future?
Okay.
Just plug.
We're about to plug a podcast that we're doing on your podcast.
Okay, wait.
I straight up told him that one already existed. You do.
Do you have a podcast?
Yeah,
you do, right?
Our first, well, we've done our first one. We're doing our second episode, and it is a different format. So I want to preface that.
Okay.
So it's not like we're encroaching on your turf or something.
No,
this is a lot of fun.
I've got to take them down.
Yeah, right.
We had a lot of fun. I did.
Absolutely.
At least. This guy probably didn't.
Well, what's
I don't
it like?
know.
No,
so it's more based off like Song Exploder, where we explore like how someone creates like art and focuses on how do you create one song in particular.
It's like more specific.
Yeah, and it's a shorter. We do a lot of editing, so it's. I think right now it's gonna be less than a half an hour long.
Okay.
But yeah, first episode we did was with Panic Baby, and with everything I feel like it takes longer, especially with doing a lot of editing.
Yeah, I've stopped editing. I just levels are good, cool.
Yeah. We might be
It's
there.
a director's cut.
Yeah.
I've only had to cut there's been only one guest ever. I'm not gonna say who it was, where I had to take 30 minutes of material and be like, go. That's gone away. Cannot post on the internet ever.
Did they put their balls on your face?
No, it's just it got to a point.
Are you implicated in a murder or something?
Yeah. No, it was just.
Did they share child porn with you?
It was one of those.
Other things.
It was one of the only times where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna post that.
You're talking about all those 15-year-old girls that were at his shows?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly at the
Are you
shows.
also banned from malls like Roy Moore? Sorry. So,
Anyway,
we're doing
your
the podcast. It's tentatively called Sun Sessions. We did our first episode with Panic Baby, and we're doing our second episode actually the day after on Saturday with Celebration Guns, and we're kind of going from there. It's going to be a monthly release. We're also doing 12 months starting in January of a single month, and it's going to play into our blog that we're running on our website, and which I believe is sunsystemband.com. And it's all about first of all, we're going to show people that follow, and hopefully we increase traffic to our site, how we created ourselves. Because we're including playlists that influence that song, and our lyric sheets, and maybe an explanation of what it's supposed to mean. I guess that'd be on me.
It's interactive.
Yeah, interactive. Yeah, like Yo Gabba Gabba. And
or Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, and then we're gonna do a monthly release of a podcast with another band, and our format though is. We actually edited out almost every question that we asked them. So it's literally the other group responding.
Oh, got it.
And then we played the song that they created at the end and give you some more.
Literally a ripoff of Song Exploder.
It literally is.
Of what?
Song Exploder. Listen to that podcast. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
They do a breakdown from start to be infancy to end.
Yeah.
Of songs. They do Grizzly Bear. They have Slow Dive.
Grizzly Bear. I remember when 2 Weeks came out, and that
Dude,
was
Grizzly Bear is fucking
easily
dope.
the fuckedest music video I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah, it's sweet. They do pop artists too. They have electronic people like Odessa and stuff like that. It's great.
Is it Solange? That's her name, right?
Solange, yeah, they have Solange.
That
they just did
sweet.
What is her name? Rachel Platt. She did that fight song, women empowerment shit.
Yeah.
But,
No, it's really good.
Yeah. No, it's really
And-
sweet.
and the
Even
whole-
for the pop songs, if you're not into the music, it's still really interesting to listen to the thought process from beginning to end.
Yeah, so
totally.
that's what we wanted to focus on is
Yeah.
Essentially people that make art, and it doesn't have to be music. I'm talking to a stand-up comedian I partied with last weekend from LA about
Humble
Can
brag.
you say who?
his name's Gary Anderson.
Okay.
He's a up and coming, I guess.
I love stand-up so much.
No,
I
absolutely.
don't think I've
And the
seen
thing is stand-up comedy and songwriting are so similar.
Mm-hmm.
You're observing society and you're commenting on it in a way that's digestible to people, and I think that's really interesting.
that at the end of the day comes down to your own self-esteem and need for a praise. It's
Hey,
let's be
we're
real,
musicians.
it's all
We're-
kind of the same, right?
We're musicians. We're all a little bit depressed at least,
Absolutely.
and we're all a little bit insecure.
No, I've met
absolutely.
tons.
We're a
I've
lot
met
insecure,
tons
I
of
don't know.
musicians and tons of comedians, and I think every one of them would agree. At the end of the day, we're all looking for approval.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, what did my dad do to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think that what's interesting to me is how one second nothing exists, and then the next second I keep saying the word second, something fully formed is actually available and consumable to people, and
Absolutely.
I think that's the steps in between are what really interesting to me.
Yeah, no matter what kind of art form it is, it's fucking sweet. And I can't draw or paint or anything like that. It's so I understand how music works, and I know you talked about having different kind of art forms on there,
Yes.
like comedians, artists, and everything like
visual.
that.
I love
the
to do
thing where you're
performing
not
arts
as
as well.
familiar with
or visual arts.
Yeah, exactly. How
Yeah.
do you get to this painting? What kind of goes into it? Because I know how music works.
We're essentially magicians, I think. I'm
Yeah,
not trying to be
yeah.
crazy, but I think that
He's more Chris Angel than anything.
You're more David Blaine.
no, but seriously, you're making something out of nothing, and
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
essentially magic in some
It
way, shape,
absolutely
or
is.
form.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well,
Yeah,
if
so-
you ever want to have us on or the singer of my band on, we would fucking love to do something like that. Not to
No.
push
I think
myself
that'd be really
onto
fun.
it. Because I know the singer of my band, at least the most recent stuff that we've released, he just what's the fucking word? A stream of consciousness while he was stoned. Wrote the whole
That's
EP.
that's interesting.
See, that's kind of sweet. And just piggybacking kind of off of what he said with the month.
Are we going down the piggybacking road?
Yeah.
Yo, we did the New Times article where we kept saying that
On the record,
on the record,
let
and
me
piggybacking
piggyback on
like
that.
at least 20 times, like consistently.
We must have been the most annoying people in the world.
No, she loved us. From
No,
all of
she
her
didn't.
comments.
Anyway,
Put words in her mouth.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put all the words in the mouth because obviously she's not here, so I speak for her.
yeah.
No, what's kind of cool is that I know I've discussed this and kind of doing like almost like a seasonal concept album because you release it a month advance, and we already have kind of a backlog of songs, which makes it a lot easier. And kind of doing like, hey, this kind of sounds like a late winter song. This kind of sounds like a spring or a summer song.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we got this kind of pop tune that's kind of catchy.
It sucks.
That
we
sounds
are-
like
we
a
already,
summer song.
I already have December, and that's like the end of the year.
Yeah, like
Which really
and kind of
blows.
doing like almost like a concept album. That's what but for seasonal concept album
That's
instead
very
of like on
interesting.
a theme, or I guess that would be the theme. But I think that's kind of a sweet like
Is it
thing to
like-
do because it goes with the mood of
So it's
the
all
year.
done.
Yeah. Oh well, it's not all done. We have like what 5-6 songs or
We,
something like that.
I think we might have up to 7. It depends on like what gets kicked out.
Yeah,
we
we have some backlog.
We definitely
tunes,
have
and then
January.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure if I can convince you guys to like that one song that we're gonna have Raquel sing on, that's December.
I like that song actually.
All right, cool. So we have the
You just gotta
we have
let
the
me
bookends.
You just gotta let me get weird on it.
That's cool. Yeah, totally.
That's awesome.
Not talking about musically.
I know a couple. I
Gonna
know.
jerk off.
Yeah, like I'm talking about.
Guys,
okay,
I'm
so
going jerking off
here's
on
the
straight
thing.
to analog.
Here's the thing that I've learned in the past couple
Analog.
months: if you're rich and powerful, you mastermate in front of people,
Yeah,
and that's
apparently
something
that's
I
the-
never
that's the
wanted
key
to do or thought was like a thing.
That's
but
the new
Maybe
American
there's a reason.
but
that
that's-
you're not
apparently
rich and
that's like the
powerful.
bourgeois lifestyle is just to jerk off in front of
I'm
people.
pretty
without
sure
the
that's
permission.
now the new American dream for every male. Like,
No, it is.
I know that I am now very affluent if I can just invite women to my room and masturbate and then cry afterwards.
in front of them. Yeah, not
Isn't
try
that
to
what
have
Sting
sex with
did
them.
too? Isn't that what people always say? Sting would do that with people. But that like, maybe that's why you're not.
He would
successful.
sex them though.
Maybe that's not why you're
Stained
not.
would do that.
Yeah, isn't he known for having sex
Sting,
for like an
Sting,
absurd amount of time?
Sting.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
Sting the wrestler?
No. Sting the fucking
Like, are we
Sting
talking
the
about the
bass player.
WWE right now?
No,
bass
he's
player.
like,
Oh yeah.
The guy
oh
from the
yeah.
Police.
No, he would go all day. Like that's
Yeah,
his
that
whole
was his thing.
Tantric.
Yeah, that's what I
Tantric
thought.
sex. It was
That's
like an
right.
absurd. It was like watching the entire Lord of the
Like
Rings.
literally
movies
would a
back
would
to
would
back.
enjoy that if we're honest? Like wouldn't they be like
No,
sore or
once you
something?
start like getting sore and dry, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Does he just like handle himself for 10 hours? Like that's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, that would be
It's-
exhausting. But people do
But
that.
we
in
aren't Sting.
People do that in prison. What's his name?
Let's talk about the show Oz right now.
I'm talking about Oz. I'm talking about WCW wrestling.
Oh my God! What's his fucking name? He's an artist who's like a playboy.
Charlie Manson.
No, he's
He
a
died.
fuck. I don't remember his name, but he was in prison or jail or whatever, and during the entire time he was there, he spent all his time in bed teaching himself how to do that. I cannot believe he's a famous dude. I don't know why I can't remember his name, but like I mean, famous within like the art scene or
The jail community.
within the prison community. Him and Charlie Bronson are two
Yeah.
big guys.
Charles Bronson?
Charles Bronson went to jail?
No,
no, he's talking about Charlie Manson.
No, Charles Bronson is the Manson too.
Death Wish.
Is the he was the most famous prisoner in Great Britain. There's a Tom Hardy.
Oh yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Hardy.
yeah,
did
yeah,
a movie with him.
yeah. That's a great. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Anyway. Yeah.
No, I dig it.
God.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Death Wish. I'm like, let's go down that rabbit
Pierce
hole.
Brosnan.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan's the shit.
Anyway,
Well, fucking, I think this might be about where we should wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much.
probably
for-
when we hit Pierce Brosnan. That's
It's like, well, they went on a 4-hour Pierce Brosnan tangent.
yeah.
I'm trying to pull up and see, like,
Hashtag Goldeneye, right?
I'm
Yeah, dude.
typing prison tantric sex. Tantric.
Maybe that's not the Google search you need to be
Maybe it's
looking
not.
at. Maybe you should be in incognito
yeah.
mode
Do you
for
have
that.
incognito?
Maybe it should be. Yeah, that's not. There's a band called Tantric.
Yes, Silent
Yeah.
Lucidity. We should listen to
that's
that as the
Queensryche,
outro to
dude.
this.
That's Queensryche.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Tantric, they had they had the white guy with the dreads,
Oh shit! Yeah.
and they had the guy that sounded like Eddie Vedder again.
Didn't they all sound like Eddie Vedder?
Yeah,
A
that
little
was
bit?
that was 1994,
Yeah.
like the whole year.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. I'm just like
You have to know. You have to know.
I fucking have to watch.
I hope it's only a video. I hope it's like some dude jerking off in prison for like 9 hours.
I'm down.
Watch. It's
Let's watch it.
It's gonna be someone that like.
I'll spend the
nobody-
night, bro.
David Cho. That's his name. See, no, so not even anybody
David
that
Cho?
knows. He is a muralist, painter, graffiti artist, graphic novelist of Korean descent.
Why was he in prison? Jerking off too long?
Yeah, dude. Public indecency.
I don't know. Probably
That
something
would be really
crazy.
rough. Like if you couldn't just finish in 5 minutes, you'd be out there for 9 hours. Like people are gonna call the cops.
Yeah.
He's
He's been jerking off for an absurd amount of time.
yeah, he's a muralist. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
We let him do it for an hour, but he did it for 3. So
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank
on the
you
show.
so
I had a
much.
Thank you so much
great
for
time.
having us.
I gotta be honest. Like I'm always like a little skeptical whenever I like a band who I don't know like hits
Yeah.
me up. Because I'm always like, oh, like what, like who is this? I don't know who this is. It could be like that band you were talking about before at Rebel, who was like, this song's for all the tweakers and methods and fucking the band
Yeah.
from Apache Junction.
I love that shit. That was hilarious.
Their name was Chairbreaker, by the way. I
That
have
was
to
their
call
name?
the name. Yeah, I have to call them out.
Okay, well everyone look up their shit because it's great.
They're wild. They're
They're about to get crazy like
Yeah.
traffic on
GG
social
out.
They're
media.
about to, yeah. I just love how he's yelling at everyone. It was like, get the fuck out of here, fuck. That was like their hook. I was like, yeah.
Fuck,
It was like,
fuck.
it's cool. You're Bob Saget of rock music right now.
Maybe
You can
it's
say
not.
you can say the F word and say the C
Well,
word.
I'm looking at Chairbreaker and I see they have 1,000 likes, so maybe it's not them. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I believe it. It could be them.
Oh well.
They sell a lot of people drugs, I'm sure.
All right. Well, see you guys later. Thank you so much for having
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
coming
thank you for
over.
having us.
I'm stoked for the show tomorrow night, and like I said, I'm gonna post this tonight, and I'll hype it. So I'll hype it in the morning, and we'll fucking have a good time, man.
Sounds
and
good,
we'll
man.
hype
Yeah.
it as well.
Cool.
Send us whatever, and then we'll repost it on
Yeah.
Have your
Instagram and
people call my people.
Have your people
Yeah.
call my
Yeah.
people, and
your publicist.
we'll tug each other off in front of each other and publicists.
Yeah,
things
that's
like
actually that was gonna be our finale. But we gave it away.
Oh fuck! I'm sorry, man.
That's our encore now.
It's like Gallagher. They were all gonna bring wetsuit, like the tarp. All right, thank you guys so much. Have a good night. Thank you so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
Okay, so we're at the end of the podcast now, and I was sitting here. Welcome. I'm really happy that you guys made it to the end. I just recorded the intro, and as I was recording the intro, roommate Dylan Studi came into the room because this is also his bedroom, and I started talking. And he asked me if he had a bruise on his arm because he broke it like an asshole, and I was asking if on my arm, I feel like I'm losing color in a piece of my arm, but it could just be like a scar that I've long forgotten about. 'Cause it's like by my elbow. Who the fuck looks at the piece of their elbow? So I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, like, do I have vitiligo? Do I have that thing that Michael Jackson has? Or do you just lose the color in your skin as you get older?
You don't fucking you don't have fucking vitiligo.
I think I do.
You don't fucking have. First off, you're too pale anyway for vitiligo to even like make a difference. You just unplugged me.
No,
Oh.
I'm playing with volume levels.
Oh, yeah. No, you're too pale of a motherfucker to even notice if you have vitiligo. Secondly, we work.
I don't think that's fair.
I
would notice.
We get in fights all the time at work. And you probably got a scrape on your elbow at one point and it just scarred. You don't have fucking vitiligo.
I think I might. I think I might have vitiligo tonight.
I don't care how much you rhyme. You don't have vitiligo this time.